Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 4 of the C# series here on my channel. In the previous video we started working on our menu here for the CSGO cheat, and as you can see we have this little panel here on the left side with buttons and our logo.
Tonor thoughts buzzing up my brain, wondering if I'll make it or am I going insane?
In this video we are going to continue on making the UI for our CSGO cheat. So without any further ado, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so as you can see, if you look at this loader, we don't have really anything here on the right side. But we do have a panel here on the left with buttons, our logo. And we want these buttons to show up our panel here on the right side with our features for the cheat. And it pretty much works the same as we did in our loader. Whenever we click this button, it's opening up a form that fits within this panel. So what we are going to do first is I'm going to open up the csgo.cs design. We're going to toolbox and we're going to add a panel. And make sure you drag it here. And then we are going to head to the right side where our properties are, and we're going to change the name to panel main, and we're going to search for dog, and we're going to make sure it fits in between this panel here on the left side. So click the middle one and it's fitting in between here. Okay, so now we are going to go all the way down, make sure this panel is selected and copy the size. And just like the loader, we are going to make a new form and design it so we can make the form fit into this panel. So go back to your CSGO design, and then we're going here to the right and make sure that in your games folder or filter you have a subpanel filter, because we're going to right click this filter once again on subpanels, click add new folder, and we're going to call this one CSGO, as I am making a cheat for CSGO right now. Click enter. You can also add more games if you want. So I also have, so click add new folder or new filter, doesn't really matter, both the same. And I'm going to call this one Roblox. And then I'm going to add one more. And that's going to be GTA. And since we're making a cheat menu for CSGO, I'm going to click on CSGO, right click, click add a new item. And it's going to be a form. And I'm going to call this one Legitbot. Because I'm going to start with the first button here, which is Legitbot. Then I'm going to continue to visuals, skins and miscellaneous at the end. So form, the name Legitbot or whatever you want, click add. And we got ourselves a new form. And the first thing we always want to do is scroll all the way down and make sure our start position is in center screen. Then we want to go all the way up, make sure form border style is set from sizable to none. And then we are going down and put our size in with Ctrl V. There we go. And now we have the exact same size as this panel here in our menu. Okay, so now I'm going to make sure this panel is selected and I copy the back color. And I'm going back to Legitbot. I'm going to close out these because we don't need them now. I'm going to pin this Legitbot design here, this one as well, drag it to the left. So now we can easily switch between these forms. So I'm going to Legitbot here and I'm going to paste in my back color. That's not the color. And now the colors are the same. And we are now ready to design the features of the Legitbot. So if we go to Legitbot here and we click toolbox, we can add a label, and I'm going to change the color from black to white. I'm going to change the font as well to Comforta. And in the previous video I got questions about people not having this font. I'm going to leave a download link in the description so you can actually download this font and use it in your own cheat if you want that. I'm going to set the size to, let's see what 20 does. I think that's a little bit too big. Let's go a little bit smaller, maybe 16. Well, that may be good. Let's see. I'm going to change the text to legitbot. Oh, not legibot, legitbot. Not legicbot, Jesus. I'm going to change the label text to legitbot. Okay, and then I'm going to put it somewhere up here, and then maybe a little bit more down. I'm using my arrow keys to move it around. Put it here to the right a little bit more. Yeah, we'll eventually see. We can make adjustments later on. Oh, my bad. Okay, I'm going to copy this label here, paste it in here. Wait, before we do that, click this label here, actually, and call this one label feature. And then I'm going to call this one label aimbot. And I'm going to change the text of this one, obviously, to aimbot. Cool. I'm going to make this one a little bit smaller. Maybe 12. Yeah, that seems alright. And I'm going to drag this one down. Just like so. And more to the right. Maybe a little bit more down. Seems alright to me. I'm going to copy this label here with Ctrl-C and paste it with Ctrl-V. I'm going to align it on the same level. You can tell... Oh, my bad. I'm going to delete these lines here. And whenever we go back to legitbot, it's going to give us this error here. Because it's missing that function for the label click. So you're going to click go to code. And you can just simply remove this line here. It will automatically bring you to the wrong line. So just remove it, just like so. And you fixed your issue. What I wanted to say is you can check if it's on the same level if you see this pink line here. Then I'm going to move this one to the right. And I'm going to call it... Where's name here? Label triggerbot. And then I'm going to change the text as well from aimbot to triggerbot. And then we're going to add one more button here. And move it to the right. And maybe call it Corsair. So it's going to draw a crosshair or something. You can think of your own features basically. I'm going to drag these a little bit more to the right. And this seems about right. One more to the right here for the crosshair. Cool. If you want to know my settings on here, legitbot is on the location 4130. The aimbot is on location 4785. The triggerbot is on 14085. And crosshair is on location 25985. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to head over to aimbot, click the label here. And I'm going to change this color here. I'm going to pick this color here, copy it, go back to the legitbot design here, and I'm going to make the forecolor blue. And I'm also going to add a panel. And I'm going to call this one panel selection. Like so. And we're going to make this panel really small. It's going, this panel is going underneath this aimbot here, and whenever we click triggerbot, the panel is going to move to the right to triggerbot, and it's going to make triggerbot blue, and then aimbot is going to be white. But whenever we click crosshair, the panel is going to move to the right, and crosshair is becoming blue, and triggerbot and aimbot are going to be white. So I'm going to change the size a little bit like so. I want it way smaller than this, and I think I'm going for a height of 1. So then we're going to pick the Y value and then set it to 1, just like so. And the color is going to be the blue color. And we now have this line here. It can be sometimes hard to select your panel here because it's so small. Just want to try a few times until you can finally select it. And as you can see, I'm having a hard time. There we go. I was having a hard time. Okay, I'm going to make this one a little bit smaller in the X value. So maybe 45. If it's good, let's see. Put it a little bit more to the left. And this seems about right for me. Yeah, I think this is alright. So I'm going to select the panel here. And all you want to do is copy the location. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to double click the label of aimbot. Then we're going back and we're going to double click triggerbot as well. We're going back and click the crosshair as well. And as you can see, I have label1.click or label1_click. And these have the names label triggerbot_click. It's because I forgot to name the crosshair label. And you want it to be as you want your code to be as readable as possible. So I'm going to remove this line for a second. I'm going back here. Go to the code. I'm going to remove this line to remove the error. As you can see, it's gone now. I'm going to click this label here. And I'm going to change it to label crosshair. Just to be more organized in my code. So I'm going to double click this one. And as you can see, we now have label crosshair_click. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to make this panel move whenever we click on aimbot or whenever we click on crosshair or on triggerbot. You can do that by making sure you select the panel and you copy the location. And then you go to the Ninkjeboi and we're going to type the following code for aimbot here. And it's going to be panel selection, and then dot location is equals to and a new point, and then in between these parentheses we're going to paste in our location, and you're going to change the semicolon with a comma and end with a semicolon, just like so. So whenever we click aimbot, it's changing the panel location to this point here, which is the exact location it is in right now. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to select the panel here and I'm going to drag it to the right until it's perfectly aligned in the middle of triggerbot. It's not perfectly aligned now, so I'm going to move it a little bit more to the left. And you're just gonna try to find the sweet spot basically. And I'm having a hard time to select the panel once again. Come on. Let me select my panel, man. There we go. Okay. Yeah. This seems about right for me. Yeah. It's perfectly aligned in the middle, so I'm going to try once again to select my panel. I'm going to go all the way down. I'm going to copy my location off the panel here. I'm going to Ninkjeboi code. We're going to label triggerbot_click, add a new line, and then do panel selection dot location is going to be a new point, and then our location here. Make sure you put a comma instead of a semicolon, and at the end a semicolon. And we're going to do the same thing once again for crosshair. So I'm going to take my panel here if I can. It's extremely hard to select it sometimes. And we're going to move it to the right until it's perfectly aligned in the middle with crosshair. Okay, this is perfect. So select your panel once again, copy your location, go back to the Ninkjeboi code and then type in panel selection dot location is new point. And sometimes it's fucking up because I'm using a new version and I'm not used to this version yet. And then your semicolon, just like so. I'm going to save my code and let's test out and see if it worked. Okay, so it's loading up our loader, obviously. Click start on CSGO. And now, yeah, as you can see, nothing is showing up here because I forgot a crucial part. We're going back to CSGO here. And we're going to have to add a few codes. So firstly, go to loader and open up the code of the loader. So right click and view the code. And I'm just simply going to copy the private form, active form is null code here. all the way down to open child form. We're going back to CSGO. We're going to open up the code of CSGO as well. And we're going to paste it in here, just like so. And we're getting an error here, show potential fixes. That's because this panel here is named panel main and not panel selection. So we're going to CSGO. We're going to change this one to panels main here. No, not, yeah, panel main dot controls and panel. I can't type right now because my hands are cold as Okay, now we want to go to the public CSGO function here. And we're going to add one more line. It's going to be open child form, new, and then the path to our CSGO subpanel here to the Legitbot. So GUI dot descriptions dot no, not GUI dot descriptions dot games dot subpanels dot CSGO and then Legitbot. There we go. And then end with one more parenthesis here and then a semicolon, just like so. So what it's going to do now, it's going to load up our CSGO menu. It's going to make the edges rounded and then it's opening up the child form of Legitbot. So if we click start now, and we click start here as well, as you can see, we now have the panel here with our Legitbot form inside this panel. Whenever we click triggerbot, as you can see, the panel is moving. So it is working. But as you maybe already saw that whenever we start it up, it's starting here on Corsair. That's because if we go to the Legitbot design, it's still located here. And we don't want that. We want it to start underneath aimbot because aimbot is currently selected. So let's go to Legitbot, copy this location here, go to the design of Legitbot and then change the location. And I forgot to change the comma with a semicolon here. There we go. Okay, and what we now want to do is whenever we click triggerbot, this aimbot is no longer selected. So the color of aimbot should be white again. So if we go here, we can now add a few lines where we are going to change the colors. So the first thing we're going to do is obviously label aimbot dot forecolor is going to be equals to color and then dot from ARGB. So in between here, when we open the parentheses, we can put our RGB code. You only want to do this one whenever the color is basically changing to blue. And the color we were using for blue is 3,134,254 and then a semicolon at the end. So whenever we click label aimbot, it's going to change the forecolor of aimbot to blue. And it should change the other colors of triggerbot and crosshair to white. Because we did not select triggerbot or crosshair. We selected aimbot, so only aimbot should be blue. So label triggerbot.forecolor is going to be color.white. And the same for label crosshair.forecolor is color.white. Like so. And it's not recognizing white as a color. And that's because I'm stupid and I added a semicolon instead of none. Just like so. Okay. You don't want a semicolon behind here. Okay, so what it's doing now, whenever we click the label aimbot, it's going to change the aimbot color to blue. And it's going to change the other labels to white. And obviously it's moving our panel to the right location. So we're going to copy these three here. We're going to paste them in here. And now, as you can see, we click triggerbot. So we want our triggerbot to be blue. So we're going to remove this line here and change it to white, because our aimbot is going to be white and our triggerbot is going to turn blue. So we're going to change this one here from triggerbot to from ARGB and change that to 3,134,254. And that's it. So we're going to do the same thing once again here. And then for Corsair, it's going to be from ARGB to 3,134,254. And then this one is going to be white as well. Cool. So we are now done with this. If we click start and we click start once again, whenever I click triggerbot, the panel is going to move to the right here in the middle, and triggerbot is going to turn blue and aimbot is going to turn white. So let's see if it worked. And it did. It is that simple. Okay, so what you can do now is close out these because we're no longer going to work on them now. We're going to do that in the next episode. I'm going to make another subpanel for CSGO. It's going to be visuals right now. So add, new item, form, and then change this one to visuals. And click add. And we're going to do exactly the same as we did here. So you're going to copy the size of this panel, and obviously the first thing we do is change the start position to center screen, change the form border style from sizable to none, and then change the back color. Sorry, I mean the size, that's terrible, Jesus. White, all the way down, change the size to the one we just copied, and then the back color as well. Just like so. Okay, I'm going to copy this label here. I'm going to paste it and I'm going to make sure it's aligned on the exact same location. So we're going to switch between these things here and make sure it's aligned. Cool, as you can see it's aligned now. And we're basically going to do the same with visuals, so just like so. Make sure these are aligned as well. And they are aligned. I see that I forgot this panel here. What was the location again? 4.8. No, not 4.8, okay. What's the location here? 58114. What am I doing? Jesus. 5.8. It's early in the morning, sorry guys. Or early in the morning. So we are going to change this label here to visuals. Okay, and then obviously we don't have aimbot, triggerbot, and crosshair in visuals, so we're going to change this one. Firstly, change the name from label aimbot to, let's say, label ESP. And then change the name also to ESP. Okay, so now I'm going to have to move this one to the right. Alright, I'm going to change this one from triggerbot to maybe champs. And then move this one also a little bit more to the right, and then this one is going to be Rilt or whatever. You can think of anything you want basically. So if I click start now, let's see what happens whenever we go. Oh, because I forgot, we are going back here, double click visuals, and then do an open child form, new GUI. .games, .subpanels, .csgo, .visuals. And then end with the parentheses here and a semicolon. Cool. Click start, and then whenever we click visuals, it's changing, as you can see. And then if we click champs, nothing is happening because we didn't code it yet. So I'm going to visuals here. And I'm going to make sure I call these labels. Yeah, it's the trigger bot. Label champs. Click this one as well, world, and then change it to label world. Cool. I'm I'm going to select our label. I'm going to select our panel here. And I'm going to copy the location. Then I want to go to the code of visuals. So view the code by right clicking the form and clicking view code. And as you can see, we don't have any functions here. So if we double click ESP and we double click champs and we double click world, you can now see we have a little bit more function here. So for label ESP, it's basically going to be exactly the same as we did for the legit bot. So I'm going to view the code. I'm just completely going to copy this one here. I'm going to double click here. And I'm going to rename these labels. So label aimbot is going to be label ESP. And then the trigger bot is going to be label champs. And then label Corsair is going to be label world. Alright. And then the only thing that changed is our location. So we are going to visuals. And we're going to select our panel once again. And we're going to copy the location. Which in this case is, I guess, the same. If we go to legitbot. Yeah, it's the same in this case. But it can differ sometimes. So I'm going to copy this here. Paste it in there. And we're now going to change the colors. So this here, the from ARGB is now for champs. And then this one is going to be white. And then copy it once again. And then instead of the champs, it's going to be world. That's going to be changing to blue. And then this one is going to change to white. Cool. Okay, and now the last thing we have to do is change the location of our panel. So if we move this one to the right, we can find the sweet spot that's right in the middle. This is already fine, I guess. So I'm only going to select the panel here. And I want our location here. I go back to visuals.cs. I'm going to close down these here. Because they're not important right now. Okay. There we go. Change the location and make sure you replace the semicolon with a comma. And then we do it once again. We move this panel to the right until it's perfectly aligned in the middle with world. Can go a little bit more to the right. That's perfect. Select the location of the label, just like so. And then go to visuals.cs and change the last one, just like so. Save your code by clicking Ctrl S or Save As, and then click Start. And let's see if it all worked. So we are now loaded up with our legit bot. And whenever we click these buttons, it's changing to blue and it's adding this panel underneath. And if we click visuals, it's changing to visuals. And yeah, it's still, the panel is still on the wrong side. So I'm going to move that to the left in a second. But whenever we click this here, it's changing as well. Okay, and if we click legit bot, as you can see, it's not changing. That's because we forgot to add the code to our legit bot basically. So I'm going to CSGO design. I'm going to double click the button here. And it's going to be open child form, new GUI.games.subpanels.csgo. And then the legit bot. Alright, so we should now be done for these two buttons here. In the next videos we are also going to finish these here. Oh. And we may continue on making the designs for the legit bot here. Okay, so let's see if we load up our CSGO menu. It's loading up legit bot first and it's working here. And if we click visuals, it's changing to visuals. The only thing I have to do now is my panel here, which I completely forgot. So move you to 48114. Nope, not 4858, I guess. Yep, okay. And now we should be completely done. Perfect, that's perfect. So what we did in this video is we made our child form fit any form in here. We designed our legit bot and our visual. And what we did is we made these labels here. And whenever we click on a label, it's going to change the color to blue. And it's going to change the panel to the right spot. In the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to finish all of these buttons here. We're also going to finish up the design. So the next video is going to be a really long video, probably, because we have to spend a long time on designing all of these pages for each button here. And then in the episode after, the next episode, we are going to finish up our menu basically with these settings here, white and dark mode. And I'll show you how that all works. So thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.